Hey guys, today we're going to talk about how to create your XY table for the function or the equation that represents how much money you have over time based on the number of hours you work. This is all for your car project. So let's go ahead and rename this first. Auto car project. Okay, so over here is our finished example. After the tutorial, yours is going to look like this. So we're going to use this as a guide to work to, okay? So we're going to start filling this out. We have equation right here. And here you're going to write your equation. What is the equation that you just identified that represents how much money you have based on how many hours you work, okay? And then we're going to put right here what the cost of the car is you're going to purchase. If mine is $4,000, I'll put $4,000. That's how much my car costs that I want to buy. Okay, in A2, we're going to put our X values. And the X values for us represent hours worked. And then in B2, we're going to put our Y values. The Y values represent the total income after however many hours we've worked. And now we're going to start putting the number of hours that we work. So starting off with 0 hours, that's your starting value. Let's say after 10 more hours, 20 more hours, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, all the way up. And you want to go all the way up until however many hours you need to work for you to be able to afford the cost of the car. Okay, so for over in my table, my car costs $4,000. So I know that if I make $15 an hour and I start with $2,500, I needed to make my X values go up to at least 100, because after I work 100 hours, I will have earned $4,000 and I can afford the cost of my car. It's a good idea to go a little over too. So you need to figure out how many hours you need to work, which we already have, for you to afford your car, and then just go a little beyond that in your X table. So now the next part gets a little tricky. We have to use this formula to fill in our Y table. Now, if we had a graphing calculator, you could easily put the equation into your graphing calculator and it would tell you all the values. But we're going to do it using Google Sheets in case we don't have a graphing calculator, which you may not in your English class and you may not in your other classes or at home where you want to work on this. Okay, so we're gonna do it the Google Sheets way. Okay, so the first thing we need to do is we're going to create a formula. So let's go into this first Y column where a 0 is. Let's go to B3. You're going to double click it and you're going to hit equals and you're going to type in MULT and you'll notice that multiply comes up. We're going to select multiply. And so it's going to ask us, well, what two things do you want to multiply together? Well, if I look at my equation, I know it's going to be 15 times whatever my X value is. In this case, my X value is 0, but we're going to put the cell because this 0 is in the cell A3. So I'm going to type A3 and then comma, which to Google Sheets means multiply based on our formula. And I'm going to put whatever number I want to multiply it by. In this case, for me, in my equation, it's 15 because I'm making $15 an hour. So I'm going to put 15. I'm going to close the parentheses. And then I'm going to add a plus sign. And I'm going to put whatever I started with in my equation. I started with $2,500, so I'm going to put 2500. And I'm going to click enter. And so what it's done is it automatically did what I told it to do. So we don't have to repeat this for all of these. You're like, oh my gosh, I got to do this for all of them. Nope. Simply click the B3 cell with your original formula. Click this little blue square. Click it, hold it, and drag it down to the other cells till you reach the end of your X values and let go. And what it does is it applies the formula to all of these cells and automatically creates the Y value that you need. So here's our table of values. We're all set. Our next step is going to be to create our graph, and that comes in the next tutorial.